Okay, so in this video we're going to be looking at standard form. So the plan here is to do a bit of I do, you do, example your turn, and then send you on to the OnMaths site for a bit of practice. So it's 3 questions in this. So the three questions, 3 examples tally pretty well with the questions you're going to get asked in OnMaths. So let's have a look at the first example then. So we're asked to write 6.8 times 10 to the minus 6 as an ordinary number. So let's just write 6.8 out first off. Now to the minus 6 means we're going to have to make it get smaller, right? So we're going to have to move the decimal point a few times to make that happen. Alright, so here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, so then I'm going to need to put some zeros in here. So my new decimal point's there. I have to have a 0 out the front, right? So my answer is going to be 0.1234568. Alright. Second one, we're going to have to write this very big number, 27 million, in standard form. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to write the number out. Now the issue with standard form is, of course, that the number in front of the times 10 has to be between 1 and 9.9999999, okay? It can't be, 27 million or anything weird like that, and it can't be 27. So the first step is to make that, or to get the decimal point in the right place, right? So the decimal place starts off here, and it needs to end up there, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do 7 jumps. So my answer is going to be 2.7 times 10. And what we're going to do is I need to do 2.7 bigger, quite a lot bigger actually by the looks of this. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 times, okay? So I've done one, you have a go. Pause the video, have a go. Okay, so hopefully you had a go. Let's see if we can go through that then. So let's write down 5.3. Now I'm going to have to move that decimal point 5 times to make it even smaller, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to have to fill those buckets with zeros. So the decimal point's now there. So I kind of have to put a 0 in front of that to make that correct. And so it's going to be 0.123453. Okay. Next one. Right, 8,400,000 into standard form. Okay, so let's just write the number down. So my decimal point starts off here, right? So let's just move that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to have to end up there. So the number we're going to need is going to be 8.4. times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, and we're done. Okay, so on example 2 now. So we've got A and B, they're both written in standard form. A is 1.6 10 to the 4, B is 3.4 10 to the 5. First question is we're going to add them up. Right, so the simplest way of thinking about adding 2 numbers up that are in standard form is 1 Let's convert them to ordinary. Let's add them up. Let's convert them back to standard form. Okay, so let's do that. So I've got, let's write the number down, shall we? 1.6. Now I need to do the times 10 to the 4 bits. I need to move the decimal place 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Fill the holes with zeros. My new decimal point's out there. And this next one is 3.4. And I need to move that one 5 times, right? So that was only four moves of the decimal point. This one's 5 moves of the decimal point. So 1, 2, 4, 5 new decimal points here. Fill the holes with zeros. Add them up. Okay. So that's 0, 0, 0, 6, 5, 3, right? So now the third part of the puzzle was take that back to standard form. So we're going to have, obviously, so standard form, the number has to be between 1 and 9.99999, so it's going to be 3.56 times 10 is the first bit of the puzzle. Alright, so that's where I've put my decimal point now. To make it back to the proper size, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skips. Alright, and we're done on that piece. So, next piece, we've got to find A times B. Okay, so the steps here are multiply the numbers. And then because it's a multiplication problem, we're going to, the rules for indices are add the indices. Okay, those are the rules for it. So let's do that. So we've got 1.6 and 3.4, so let's multiply those together. So I'm going to do it with Chinese lattice. You may like to do it with column multiplication, you might do chunking. I don't know how your favoured method of multiplication is. So 1.6 and 3.4. Let's do the multiplication then. So 6 times 3 is 18, 6 times 4 is 24, 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 4 is 4. The Chinese lattice we add up down the diagonals, so 4, 10, 14, count with 1, 1, 4, 5, and that's just 0. Now we need to put the decimal point back in, so how many decimals are in the question? 1, 2, must be 2 in the answer. Okay, so so far we've got 5.44. Okay, so now we need to think about our indices, right? So back at the start, so the indices were 4 and 5, so I've got 4, I add 5, I'm going to get 9, aren't I? So my final answer is going to be, in standard form, is going to be 5.44 times 10 to the 9, okay? And we're done. So I've done one. You have a go. Pause the video, give it a go. Okay, so hopefully you have had a go at that. So let's have a look at this. So we've got 2.8. I need to move the decimal 4 times, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to fill the holes. Fill the buckets with zeros. And 1.3, 10 to the 5. So 1, 3. Need to move this 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. New decimal point is there, right? Need to fill the buckets with zeros. It's an adding problem. So that's 0, 0, 0, 8, 5, 1. Okay. So that's in ordinary form, so I just need to convert that back to standard form. So that's going to be 158 times 10. And I'm just going to need to have a quick look where my decimal is gone. So I'm pretending the decimal's here, but it needs to be off to the right hand side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skips. 5 skips. I need to make that bigger by 5 skips. So I put that in. And we're done on that. So part B, we just need to do the same as we did before. So we're going to multiply the numbers. So let's do my multiplication grid. So make sure we get that right. So 2.8, 1.3. So what's going on? So 1 times 8 is 8, 3 times 8 is 24, 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 3, 6. Add up down the diagonals because it's Chinese letters. 3, so 8, 10, 16, carry the 1, that's just 3, and that's a 0. Need to put the decimal point back in, so 1, 2 decimals in the question, 2 in the answer. So we've got 3.64. Let's have a think about the indices. So we had 4 and a 5, so index of 4 added to an index of 5 is an index of 9. So in standard form, that's going to be 3.64 times 10 to the 9, and we're done. Okay, so we're on example 3 now. So we've got a new planet's been discovered in a faraway solar system. It's got a mass of, well, it's a really massive planet, right? So 1.51 10 to the 25 tons. The mass of the Earth is 6.04 times 10 to the 21 tons. How many times heavier is the new planet than Earth in standard form? So what we're really trying to say is this new really big planet is bigger than the Earth. So how many Earths can we fit into it? So how many times would I have to multiply all the rock in the Earth out to get this new big planet? So it's a division problem really, isn't it? So the rules for this are, we're going to divide the numbers and we're going to subtract the indices, because that's what happens in division. We subtract the indices. So we need to divide the big planet. So what we're saying is 1.51 divided by 6.04. Okay. So we're allowed to use our calculator. Lovely. So let's have a look at that. So 1.51 divided by 6.04, that's a quarter, right? Or 0.25. Okay. And when we think about the indices, and we're going to subtract the indices, right? The indices are 25 and 21. Okay. So where we're going to end up with this is we've got a number that is 0.25 times 10 to the 4. But I'm not allowed to write that, am I? Because this number is not between 1 and 9.99999, okay? So if I make this bigger, I've got to counterbalance that by making the 4 smaller. So that's going to be 2.5 times 10 to 3. And then we are done. Okay, so I've done one, you can do one. Give it a go. Okay, so hopefully you've given that a go. So Now we've got a slightly different problem, same kind of idea. So we've got a big new planet, 3.19 10 to the 27 tons, and mass of Mars is 6.38 times 10 to the 20 tons. So we're going to need to do the big number, so that'd be the big number, 3.19, and divide it by Mars, 6.38. So we're dividing the numbers. We're allowed to use our calculator. And we get half, right? So 0.5. And we think about the indices, right? So it's 27 and 20. So 27 take away 20 is 7. So we could write this number out as 0.5 times 10 to the 7. But hang on, there's a problem. I'm not allowed to have 0.5 at the front, so I've got to make that number bigger. So I can make that 5.0. But if I've made this number bigger, I have to make the index smaller. Okay, so it just becomes that. And we're done.